Looks good. Perfect. Yep, looks good. Good. There you go. Quick car. All right, going to do a review of my brand new car that I just bought, a 1981 DeLorean DMC 12 with 10,000 original miles. Believe it or not, this car has only 10,000 original miles since new. The guy who owned it before me was a dentist, and he passed away recently in August, but apparently his practice was only like 2 miles away from his house, so he would just drive it to work and drive it home, and then there got to be a point where he got a little too old and he couldn't drive it anymore, so he just stored it for like 15 or so years, and then he recently passed away last year, and I believe his wife just sent it off to a museum. And then Delorean, Florida, where I bought the car, picked it up from the museum, and I purchased it shortly after. So this is it right here. In total, I paid roughly, with everything I needed done to the car, about $55,000. The car itself was $40K, and then I had to put about $15K of work into it. I did a video here on my channel a few weeks ago, kind of documenting my process of buying this car over the phone, because I'm obviously in California and I had to have this car shipped here. So this is it. You guys wanted me to do a review, so this is it. This is my new car. Obviously it's a DeLorean, so it's made of stainless steel, and well, it's really, I should say, not made of stainless steel, but the body panels are, and it's wrapped over fiberglass. And as you can see, it is in excellent condition. I mean, again, it only has 10,000 original miles on it, so. See there, I did the upgraded exhaust here, which was another 3,000 bucks, so you can kind of see right here and over here. I upgraded the exhaust, and that increases the horsepower, so it gives it another 50 to 75 more horsepower, because out of the factory these things were not fast, and you know what, there weren't many cars in 1981 that were anyway. So you can see Gizmo chilling in here. What's up, Giz? Cash is taking a nap. I've already got my dogs in here, guys. But that is the interior. I'll go around and show you a little bit more of the inside here. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, look at that. It's like brand spanking new. And as you can see here, the mileage is, right now, it's 10,374. I put about 100 miles on it so far, and I literally just got it. The guy dropped it off the trailer the other day. So, and back here I carry a fire extinguisher. It's always important with these older cars, classic cars, muscle cars, you carry a fire extinguisher in your car just in case it catches fire. You want to be able to put it out really quickly. So I usually keep a fire extinguisher back here. I have one in my 65 Corvette also, for you guys who've seen my Stingray. And these are gull wing doors, and the way these operate, it's just like, yeah, you just push it down like that. And funny thing too is this car had the original tires on it, and I had to, or we had to put brand new tires on it, because you can't drive on the original tires. I mean, the tires were like 40 years old from 1981. A lot of guys have been asking me like, hey, why didn't you buy a Lambo? Why didn't you buy, you know, Ferrari or something like that? And thing is, you know, I've had those cars, driven those cars. I actually bought my first Ferrari at age 21. I had a business back then and pretty much sunk all my money in that car. Not the best financial decision I made, but I had a Ferrari at one point, and this was high on my bucket list. Okay, the Corvette, the Stingray that I have now that you've seen me shoot a few videos in, that was like my first dream car. I really, really wanted to get. Got that car, and fast forward a few years later, this was second on my bucket list, the Delorean. And this is hands down the coolest thing that I've ever bought in my life. I mean, when the guy was taking off the truck, and I saw it coming out, I mean, my eyes lit up. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that's my car. I felt like a kid in a candy store. And it's just an amazing feeling. It's just so weird, like the type of response you get from this car on the road versus a Lambo, versus a Ferrari. Even my Corvette, you know, with my Stingray, I get a lot of like people like honking and thumbs up and all that. But with this car, people like literally want to stop you, talk to you, take photos with the car. They'll start asking like all sorts of questions, like what do you do for a living, how, you know, and where'd you get the car, and blah blah blah. And yeah, it's just amazing the response you get from people who see the DeLorean versus people who see you in a Lambo or Ferrari. You know, if you roll around a Ferrari in like San Francisco where I'm from, or in California in general, I mean, most people will be like, yeah, that's cool. But then you'll also get people who will be like, oh, screw you, rich guy, or screw you, you selfish jerk, you know, or, you know, stuff like that. Where fortunately I haven't gotten any of those reactions with this car as of yet. You know, it's mostly people smiling and kind of like just whipping out their cell phones, riding in your blind spot, wanting to take photos of it. I just got gas a second ago and it kind of drew a crowd, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. So the car itself is kind of like its own movie star. It's weird. It's weird. That's why I bought the DeLorean over the Lambo or the Ferrari. I wasn't really interested in that right now. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna get another Lambo. Like at some point in the future, I probably will. Probably in the next couple of years. And I'll document that purchase as well, just as I have this car, because obviously you guys would want to see something like that. You're telling me all the time, like, yeah, shoot the process and show us what it's like. And then obviously for the haters, they're like, no, it's rented, it's rented. He can't afford that car. He only makes $1 million a year. Can't afford that Lambo. Anyway, so yeah, this is it. There's a lot of history behind this car. Most of it you could Google yourself if you have any questions about it. But 1981 DeLorean DMC-12. When this car first came out, it sold for approximately a little over $25,000, which in 1981 money was a lot of money. I mean, today that would be approximately a little over $75,000, close to like $78,000 for a DeLorean. Contrary to popular belief, it drives great. I know I get a lot of guys saying like, oh, you know, the brakes, oh, you know, the steering, it doesn't have power steering, and oh, the suspension, oh, you feel every bump on the road and all this. And you know what, it's fine. You know, I've driven a lot of luxury cars. My Range Rover, you know, I mean, that car is pretty much flawless. But, you know, this car for a 1981 drives spectacular. You know, compared to other 1981 models, this car is great, right? So, all those former owners or people who've driven it who bag on it, I don't share that opinion. The thing I like about these classic cars, right, these older cars, I should say, is that with these cars, you are forced to drive the car, okay? You have to drive the car. Whereas with modern cars, like cars today, the car pretty much drives you. You feel me? It drives you and it kills the driving experience. It's almost boring, right? New cars today like really bore me because you're not really doing much of the driving, you know, whereas with this car, you have to drive it. You're forced to drive it, right? And a lot of people bag on the horsepower too because these did not have a lot of horsepower coming out of the factory. Back in the early 80s, late 70s, the government started basically coming down on a lot of these faster sports cars and, you know, really forcing the manufacturers to kind of put the brakes on, you know, the amount of horsepower that their cars had, right? This is what really killed the muscle car era. Unfortunately, this came out during that time, right? And it's not to say that the car isn't fast, and it's not to say that it isn't slow, right? It's a little bit of both. But the thing I like about this car is when you hit the gas, you feel it, right? You feel it. I mean, right now I'm closing in on, with the upgrade to the exhaust, I'm close to about 200 horsepower, I want to say. But you feel every single one. You feel all of that horsepower every time you hit the gas. Whereas with modern cars today, I mean, you look at the new Dodge Challenger Hellcat, and car has like 500 horsepower, 600, 700 horsepower, whatever it is. And you can't really enjoy all that, right? You can't really enjoy all the speed in that car. So when you hit the gas, you just fly, right? You just take off. And it's not really as enjoyable as when you hit the gas in this. You will feel every amount of that horsepower. So yeah, if I wanted to go super fast, I would just get a Dodge Challenger. I would just get the Hellcat, right? And at one point I did have a Dodge Challenger. And yeah, it's like, where are you gonna go that fast, right? Where are you gonna go with 700 horsepower, you know, on the city streets or whatnot, unless you live out in the country, right? Even then, you could wrap yourself around, you know, a telephone pole really easily with that much power and speed. Whereas with this, you really can enjoy the driving experience and the fact that you do have to drive the car. You know, you have to step on the clutch. The clutches in these cars are really stiff, like most classic cars, right? The clutch is really stiff and you have to like step on it in order to get the clutch in gear. With today's cars, I mean, the clutch is soft, right? It's soft. You don't have to put a lot of work into this. I mean, with this car, it's kind of like a workout, right? You have to put some muscle into it, which I really like. Yeah, I even had a few guys going, oh man, you should have got the new, you know, Porsche, whatever, or the new AMG Benz. You should have got that instead. And the thing with those cars is, with those cars, when you, as with any brand new car you buy, I mean, within the first 2 to 3 years, the car loses half of its value, right? So you buy a $100,000 Porsche, for example. In 3 years, that car is going to be worth 50. Okay, there's not a whole lot of resale value there. It's not a great investment. Whereas with this car, I bought it for 55, and if I want to sell it in the next 5 years, I could probably get about the same amount, or if not more. Okay, because these are going up in value. There were a total of a little over 9,000 made, and right now there are a little over 5,000 left on the road. So these things are disappearing, and you know what? It's a great investment, and I'm glad to have one, and I'm glad to knock this car off my bucket list of childhood dream cars. I literally had the poster of this car sitting above my bed when I was growing up. So it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to finally like achieve one of your dream cars. And if you look around the car, I mean, it still looks fairly modern, right? It doesn't look, really doesn't look dated, you know, for being in 1981. I mean, this could hold up with all most of the modern cars today. I mean, if you look even at the interior, I mean, if you compare this interior to most interiors from 1981, you will be surprised at how modern this interior looks. I mean, it is just flawless. And the original owner obviously took very good care of it, and as I will too, right? Now this is a rear mounted engine, so the engine's actually in the back of the car, and in the front is the hood, which is actually storage, okay? And this is actually where you get your gas right here. So I have to like pop open the hood whenever I need to put gas in it. And this is basically what came with the car. Got a little stainless steel care kit. This is the original window sticker that was on the car when it was brand new. And as you can see, it's kind of blurry, but 26,175 was the original asking price. This one was sold out of Crown Chevrolet in Farmington, Massachusetts. But this is the original window sticker, and this is just the one of the dealer plates that they gave me with it. And yeah, this is this car cleaning kit. And of course, I went to Whole Foods earlier and had to buy some healthy food, so I just stuck it in there. But yeah, then you just drop the hood down. But this is it, guys. We will be shooting a lot more coaching videos in this car, and I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm still kind of in shock that this is my car. It's insane. Yeah, speaking of Lambos and Ferraris, those cars can't hold a candle to the amount of attention that this car gets. It's insane how many people will stop you, start taking photos, asking you questions. Yeah, the amount of attention this car gets is just kind of crazy. So it'll be a little bit of a challenge to shoot coaching videos in here, but you know, we'll give it a shot, right? But that's it. That is my detailed review of my 1981 DeLorean. Yeah, I'm just really excited to have this car. And obviously it's a stick shift. You got to get a stick when you get a DeLorean. Don't buy an automatic. But as far as values go, because I had a lot of guys kind of surprised that the car was, you know, ended up costing in, you know, around like 55K. Actually, it was closer to 60K, you know, with DMV fees and all that, because it was out of state. And then I have to pay like, you know, another 10% on top of the, you know, the purchase price. So that's like another $5 grand total. So really it's like a $60,000 DeLorean, and guys are kind of like taken back, like, wow, isn't that kind of expensive for a DeLorean? And no, it's actually pretty average, because if you even look on eBay or any collector car site, you can see what these things are going for. Obviously the cheaper DeLoreans that are in the 20 to 30K range, I really wouldn't touch those, right? Because the thing about these cars is, when they came out of the factory new, you know, there were a lot of things, there were a lot of issues that owners discovered later, right? So whenever you buy a DeLorean, whatever price you paid, right, if it's all original like mine was, you can expect to put in another 10K into that car just to have all the updates done, like getting new fuel hoses, right? Because this thing came with rubber fuel hoses, and these things would catch fire because of that. So I mean, there are a lot of updates that you need to do to the car to just get it back on the road. I mean, I had to put brand new tires on the car, even though it had the originals. Couldn't ride on those. Had to replace the fuel lines, because this car came with rubber fuel lines back in the day, and those things would catch fire. So if you look on YouTube, you've seen a few DeLorean owners where their DeLorean caught fire, right? Whereas I had those replaced with, I believe it was metal and steel fuel lines. So that's not going to happen. And just all sorts of updates to the engine, the suspension, just to make it a nice, drivable, dependable running car. I don't know if any car could ever be dependable, but dependable enough to roll around it. So yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap up here. Stay tuned for more videos inside the car, outside the car, and little reviews here and there on the DeLorean, as well as other cars that I'll probably purchase in the future. But this has been my favorite purchase so far. Really excited about it, and hope you guys are too. So with that said, until next time, this is M, also known as Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell up top so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of my content even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube, where all of my content is protected, all of my premium content is protected. And right now it's only $1 to become a premium Alpha Male Secrets subscriber, right? And all you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.